This is Ingersoll Avenue in Des Moines, Iowa. Ingersoll Avenue is one of the busiest streets in the metro. That's why for the past 4 years, the city has been working to make the street more traffic-friendly. It was during that construction that the workers uncovered a piece of Des Moines history lost to time: the former streetcar tracks that used to crisscross the city.
Indeed, before automobiles ruled the roads, the streetcar was king. Vox's Joseph Stromberg reported that there were nearly 17,000 miles of track that ran through every major American city. With fares as low as a bus ride today, the streetcar was the great connector. So, what happened?
Depending on the city that you live in, one of two things happened. One of the reasons streetcars became extinct was thanks to major corporations like GM, Standard Oil, and Firestone Tire, all propping up the bus company, National City Lines. Known widely as the General Motors streetcar conspiracy, the automaker conspired with other companies to buy up public-owned transport companies and make their service so unbearable that the city that they operated in would have no choice but to abandon their streetcars and switch to GM-manufactured motor coaches.
Cut the miles down. Sell off the properties.
They don't take the service out, they just cut it back. They'll take it and they'll cut it from 10 minutes to 12 minutes, from 12 to 15, from 15 to 20, from 20 to 30. So they reduce the service. And every time you reduce the service, you make it less attractive.
The other end to the streetcar age, increasing costs. That's exactly what happened to Des Moines, but we'll get there in a bit. Right now, let's take a trolley back in time to see how the streetcar line in Des Moines helped a budding neighborhood blossom.
Welcome to Highland Park and Oak Park. And no, that sign right there is not the world's biggest typo. On one side of the street, you'll find the neighborhood of Highland Park, and on the other, you'll find the neighborhood of Oak Park. 6th Avenue right here acts as a natural divider between the two. Together, these neighborhoods make up the Parks District in Des Moines.
Development in the Parks District officially started in April of 1888. The Iowa State Register reported that houses were being built that ranged between $3,000 and $5,000. Adjusted for inflation, that would be between $97,000 and $136,000 today. The addition of recreational activities in the Parks District, like in Union Park, Fraze, later McHenry Park, and the Riverview Amusement Park, which started as a zoological garden, attracted eager investors and homebuyers alike. The only thing they needed was a way to get people from the city to the Parks District.
Enter the famous, or infamous, depending on who you ask, bridges that connected the budding neighborhood to the growing metropolis just 3 miles away. This bridge behind me is the new 6th Avenue Bridge, as the original was torn down to make way for the new 6th Avenue Bridge, which then collapsed in 1965. But before the collapse, the new 6th Avenue Bridge provided much-needed infrastructure to let the neighborhood grow.
The bridges finally provided the much-needed access to downtown Des Moines that the neighborhood was missing, including access to the streetcars. Streetcars started in Des Moines in the late 1800s with the fundamental purpose of bringing people downtown. James Jacobson writes in his history of Highland Park, Oak Park, and the Parks District that by the 1880s, Des Moines had two competing streetcar companies, the narrow and the broad gauge. In a letter to the Iowa State Register, a property owner noted that when both these companies started, it was hoped that they would compete in a consistent rivalry to excel in good service to the public. But these hopes were realized to a very limited extent. The broad gauge line was so tied up in court battles against the narrow gauge line that they stopped laying track altogether, and it was alleged that the narrow gauge line had violated its city franchise when it converted to lighter cars and one horse. It would seem all was lost for streetcars in Des Moines, but they did have one saving grace in the form of the Des Moines Beltline Railroad Company. They were able to fully realize electric streetcars for the city. By October of 1888, they opened up their line to a public test run. The Iowa State Register reports that about 2,000 riders showed up to the Sunday trial. When the rail company completed the bridge across the Des Moines River, service was officially started. The Register once again commented on the new streetcar service, saying it's safe to presume thousands of persons will avail themselves of the cheap and rapid transport to the salubrious suburbs. That cheap and rapid transport is what really made Highland Park boom.
Where I'm at now is the historic business district, and it was a direct beneficiary of the increased streetcar ridership.
By 1912, the railroad company thought it best to change the approach route to the parks from 2nd Avenue to 6th. The Des Moines Register and Leader reported about the improvements in 1916, saying that it enabled residents to get to town in 15 to 20 minutes. They continued by offering their observation of the Parks District, stating, "What was then cornfields and vacant tracts are now blocks of nice, comfortable homes. In way of public improvements, the district is equal to any other part of the city." By 1914, the district offered a wide range of services. Some even rivaled what you could find downtown. So much so that some district businesses urged their customers to try Highland Park first. The end of rail service for the Parks District came at the hands of its creator. In 1938, the City Council approved plans for the new trackless trolley system, better known as trolley buses, to replace traditional rail service in the parks. Des Moines embraced a hybrid electric yet trackless trolley system. The new trolley bus was given the designation Curbliner by a Des Moines resident who won a $500 prize for entering the name in the railway company's naming contest, the equivalent of around $11,000 today. These trolley buses ran on electric lines above the city and allowed for safer loading and unloading by getting closer to the curb.
Data from the Des Moines Public Library suggests that by 1940, the Des Moines Railway Company operated more than 100 streetcars, 31 curbliners, and 37 gas buses. The high cost of car and track maintenance caused those 100 streetcars to dwindle down to one. On March 5, 1951, a streetcar named Retire made its final run throughout Des Moines.
Curbliners would soon follow suit. 13 years later, in 1964, Curbliner number 249 made a special trip organized by trolley enthusiasts. Afterwards, construction of the McVicker Freeway, or I-235, forced the removal of the infrastructure that serviced curbliners.
While streetcars and curbliners may have given way to the buses, and the Des Moines Railway Company may be long gone, there's still a way to experience the streetcar, with a modern twist.
DART's D-Line is a free-to-ride service where you can hop on and off as you please. Route 42 closely mirrors the downtown loop route that trolleys and curbliners made many years ago. As for the Parks District, businesses have come and gone, and while not as bustling as it used to be, it still attracts people looking to shop small. Many of the businesses in the historic business district are favorites of Grandview students. And for the cars that used to faithfully carry Des Moines residents and visitors downtown, their legacy is safe with DART. But in some cities, the legacy of their streetcar system is so strong that it has inspired a revival of sorts. Cities all around the U.S. have embraced the streetcar. Places like Kansas City's KC streetcar, Detroit's Q-Line, the Cincinnati Bell Connector, or Charlotte's City Links have all been opened in the past 9 years. And who can forget the famous San Francisco cable cars that have kept this bygone era of transport fresh in the minds of tourists? Even Des Moines has found a way to pay its respects to its transportation history.
Our ride down the tracks of memory lane stopped here, at the Waveland Trolley Loop. Fitting, as this is where journeys both ended and began again.
The monument was completed in 2023, thanks in part to a fundraising effort by Earl Short and the Des Moines Streetcar Friends. Here is a place to reflect and remember the days gone by, as the sounds of cars and buses carrying on the streetcar's legacy fill the air. Gone, but never forgotten, the Des Moines streetcar system.